The clean-up complete and the illegal encampment of travellers gone, the Runton Road car park and Cromer itself are back in business. But over the weekend, a torrent of reports of public order offences, shops and bars having to close on one of normally the busiest weekends of their year, and a very angry town with an awful lot of questions about how it all happened. This afternoon, Norfolk Police have been facing the cameras to answer some of them.
I fully understand the frustrations, and I said I've been around the town this morning to understand those frustrations and to discuss with the Safer Neighbourhood teams and the command here out at North Norfolk, as well as our partner agencies, in how we review what happened at the weekend. So I don't underestimate the views of the public, those are important. But also we have to bear in mind the information and intelligence that we had on the lead up to this weekend, that nothing suggested any of these disorder events, thefts or these events would actually occur, or otherwise, of course, we may well have put on a different policing operation.
Also this afternoon, police confirmed they are now exploring the possibility of a link between the events of the weekend and the rape of a woman in her late teens on Friday night in town. A man in his 30s has been arrested on suspicion of rape in Essex this morning. North Norfolk District Council spent the weekend trying to move on the travellers who were illegally camped out here overnight on Runton Road car park. A total of 23 caravans and campers arrived on Friday and finally had all left on Sunday afternoon. It comes at the end of Cromer Carnival Week, the highlight of the North Norfolk summer calendar.
Yeah, people want answers, and that's perfectly understandable. I say, the events of the weekend spoilt what had been a great week up to then, and really sort of ruined the efforts that a lot of people had put in.
The streets were busy again with holidaymakers this afternoon, but it was a very different story for parts of Saturday and much of Sunday. Craft Burger overlooked the seafront and the pier and were one of the restaurants that felt like they had little option but to close. Andy owns it and says it cost them around $2,500 in lost revenue.
I think every business in Cromer was pretty much shut. There was only 2 or 3 still open. I closed myself Sunday until about 4 p.m. Because they'd all left probably about 3. Police advised they'd left, so we continued trading as we did. But Sunday had a big impact because I lost a lot of revenue. But I had a lot of young girls working that day, so and they were a bit worried.
Some places had trouble on Friday night, but others, like the Wellington pub, they had to close on Saturday after threats and bad behaviour, something manager Nick came face to face with.
There was a group of about 17 to 20, and that's after a couple of hours, that's when they become a little bit rowdy. We asked them then to leave, and then things escalated, at which point they started grabbing me to pull me over the bar, saying, look, no, we're not leaving until you give us some money, at which point that was when we decided to dial 999.
But Nick's one of many in town who aren't happy about how it was all policed, asking whether there should have been more prior warning and more officers on duty.
Fridges were being ransacked in pubs where bottles were just being taken. There was cases of beer just being carried out of supermarkets, and yet the police, in all of their statements, say no arrests were made. I can't believe that how they can say no arrests were made. They should hang their heads in shame, as far as I'm concerned, to know, as they call low-level disorder, someone weeing in the street in the centre of town, they would have been arrested. They would have had an £80 fine for public disorder. There was none of that happened.
Police will now conduct reviews to see if things could have been done differently this weekend. But the message today is that Cromer is back open for business in the last valuable days of the summer holiday. As they move on from a weekend they'd rather forget. Neil Perry, Mustard TV, Cromer.